Hey loves, this is Janelle, the relationship coach behind the Successful Invisible, and I wanted to follow up with another episode of Response and React with about Todd and Kandi and their separation. So, you know what, at this point, I need a red flag rebate. For every time a man tries to humble a woman he couldn't afford in the first place. So, this is really dedicated to a lot of things Todd has said and done in the past, because the way some men will smile in your face while plotting on your bank account behind your back, whew, these clips cover that. This delusion is at an all-time high. So today we're breaking down the real issue. Men who marry up, move in, benefit, and then suddenly develop amnesia and resentment about who brought what to the table. If you ever dealt with a man who wanted to manage money he didn't earn, control a lifestyle he didn't build, or low-key resent you for your success, pull up a seat. We're getting into some of the patterns that we've seen in the show throughout the timeline. Not too many, but enough for you to get the point. And maybe a dating lesson or two mixed in when I give my commentary. So before we get into it, go ahead and comment, like, subscribe, and join my coffee community for exclusive coaching content.
No, just listen, just listen. As a woman with money, you should let your man control it. You didn't do it all by yourself. So what if we broke up? I would get nothing? Like I didn't help you? I brought you water sometimes, I listened? Hypothetically, of course. What if I slept with one of your friends after we broke up? What if I slept with one of your friends after you hear me? What if I slept with one of your Portia. Put my ego in a box. I've been suppressing it. It's not about that. It's not about that. See, some women think because they have more money going into the relationship that everything is mine. What if I need a couple of dollars? See, I'm not saying buy me no cars, a Lambo or no shit. That'll be dumb unless you... Yeah, no, that'll be dumb. See, I just need a monthly allowance. You don't listen. If you have too much money, you could end up by yourself if you don't let your man control the money that you had before y'all got together. I'm just saying. Be a man, you must be swift as a force. It's not about that. My ex catered to me like I was a billionaire even though I only had $10. She cooked, she cleaned, she slaved, So let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think y'all past your prime? Kandi? You ain't no Rihanna. You're not listening. We need separation. I'm tired of being around you and your friends. That's why I got this camera set up while you get your makeup and hair done and make money for us so I could take it.
Also, do y'all remember way back when Todd and Kandi were engaged and this woman tried to warn Kandi about Todd? She was like, yeah, Todd is usually on the come up. But that was upsetting Kandi, and Portia jumps in and was like, why are you telling her that they got engaged? She was warning you, Kandi. She was warning you.
He had his, Todd was always on the come up, and I'm not mad at that.
But you already know that when people say on the come up, you know that means you're getting with someone who has more money.
But all I'm saying is he always found himself in a better situation.
Natalie, don't water it down.
Honestly, you seem sweet, but you're doing the same thing to Kandi that she just did to you. That's her fiance, and you're calling out her fiance in a way about cheating on her.
No.
Regardless of whatever you said or how you meant it, that's how everybody took it.
I love Kandi. I think Kandi is super talented. I think it probably just ran its course, baby. 11 years. I should have looked up the data before I got on here. But I feel like that's a good run. I think people are trying to attribute it to them, having open opportunities in their bedroom. Child, I'm not GM for that. I think it's really about... At the root, they were very different people. And I think that Todd has great ambition, but I don't think he has great skill of creating great output. And Kandi has great ambition, great strategy, and great output. And I think that it's very hard to be successful with a man who does not reap the same amount of success that you reap. And it's cute when y'all name are attached to a business together, So therefore, your success is his success, is our success. But a man is going to want his own. And when he can't get his own, he is going to bring an energy that will make you feel less successful or have less peace in your success. There's going to be a evening out, if you will. And I think that, but Kandi is a PR genius. She's a businesswoman. People are like, oh, I think they're struggling financially. One thing I know about that Kandi Burruss, honey, Kandi will be out here selling Avon before she let y'all play in her face like that. And yeah, I think they had their children. I think, 11 years is a cute time. I think Kandi's loss of her brother plays a bigger part in how she navigates men than maybe she knows. I would not be surprised if Kandi ended up with a woman after this. Just be real with you. I would not be surprised at that. Or like never with anybody again. I would not be, because Kandi, I think she's 49. She's about to be 50, I think. And very set in her ways, is about her business. She's about to do Broadway. But yeah, I enjoy Kandi. I've never met Todd. I have met Kandi. And that's all I got. I saw y'all tags. It's like, I try not to. Some shit is too real. It's like people's real shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, you can't give a man your life. You can't. You can try to, and he's gonna resent you. Let me tell you something. I've tried. Either you give them your life and they just kind of sit in it. They don't make anything of it, which is frustrating. Or you give them your life and they become resentful and jealous and they try to tear it apart.
You feel like y'all past y'all prime, like past y'all like fine days? What do you think with makeup and lipo and all of this stuff, you guys are able to extend being fine? Because think about this.
So this is the scheme that Todd had set up to get with a rich woman that everybody said was out of your league and try to humble that woman. Why else would you say a woman of a certain age that she is, who probably had some work done, which she has been speculated to have had some work done, who wears makeup, she's currently getting her makeup done. Why would you try to make it seem like her best years are behind her? This sounds like red pill manosphere rhetoric from somebody's own husband. I've been seeing a lot of videos, women saying that they lost their husband, they lost their boyfriend to red pill podcasts, and how the man was loving and kind and thoughtful and sweet at first, but the more he listened to that kind of content, the more you can hear him regurgitate this really sexist, misogynistic view. Because why are you taking subtle digs at your own wife, insinuating that she might be past her prime? It's almost like you want her to be secure around younger women. But it doesn't matter how old a woman is, whether she's 25 or 45. If someone can take your man, he was never yours. Men who engage in conversations like this, you can tell they're red pill, whether they think they're hiding it well or not. Because why are we worried about women being past their prime? Why do we happen to be talking about how women look with or without their makeup while a woman is getting her makeup done? Like, you ain't slick. And some men think that they're with a woman that's out of their league and they think they've discovered something that makes you insecure. They will pick at that thing to make you feel less confident because they want you to feel like, no, you're the one that's lucky to be with me.
If we don't work out, I got to get out the damn house in 30 days? How do I find a house in 30 days?
In your past relationship, when y'all broke up, did you just keep living together?
No, but if I need some time to find a place, if we have a child...
Okay, well, if we break up, then you can go in the guest house and not stay in the main house.
But that seems reasonable.
I'm sorry if he didn't have a house when he came into the marriage. Excuse me, get your own money while we're married and you'll be fine. I'm sorry.
And this is why Todd wanted to keep that condo in New Jersey, because he knew a time like this would come and he would only have 30 days to get out. So all I want to know is, where you staying at, Todd? Are you in the guest house, or did you pack your things up and already head to Jersey? Because we all know
Well, it could have been a scheme that Todd set up for him to come to you with the bush.
shout out to Kandi for never being one to play about her money and signing a prenup and letting us all know that it ain't just for the men, it's for the women too.
I love that Kandi knew that Todd was scheming. Like, I'm glad that Kandi knew that, like, this was Todd's biggest scheme that he was cooking, was to be with her for like 5-6 years and then divorce. Like, that was his vibe. And she knew it was a scheme that Todd set up. She knew it was going to be a scheme that Todd set up. She just knew.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube. And that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. All right, let's jump into it. There are like 5 main points that I want to point out or highlight from these TikTok clips, and then kind of give you a little relationship coaching lesson on the back end. So, number 1, Todd's jokes about controlling Kandi's money were actually entitlement. So Todd framed financial control as a man's role, okay, air quotes, implying Kandi should let him manage her money, even the money she earned long before him, like that $33 million I think the prenup was around. His statements weren't playful. They revealed resentment, entitlement, and a belief that her success should be shared with him simply because he existed nearby with a male organ. That's it. So a relationship coaching lesson from this is a man who believes he deserves access to your resources without contribution is not a partner. He's a dependent. Successful women must listen to men's financial language early. Entitlement is not love. Entitlement is extraction. Remember that. Always date men who have their own internal sense of worth, not men who look to your income to build their own sense of worth. All right. So a second point I really want to highlight here is Todd repeatedly made comments aimed at lowering Kandi's confidence. Remember when he was insulting her age, comparing her to Rihanna, referencing being past her prime, air quotes, and mocking her makeup while she worked? They were all subtle attempts to humble and destabilize her or cause her to be stressed out in a emotionally dysregulated state. Here's a relationship coach tip. When a man feels inferior, he will often try to level the playing field by diminishing a woman. Pay attention to partners who joke, air quotes, about your body, age, career, appearance, or desirability. A man who secretly competes with you will eventually resent you. Choose partners who celebrate your shine, not those who chip away at it. Okay? Another point I want to highlight. Todd was on the come up and saw Kandi as a strategic life upgrade, right? Remember when Todd and Kandi met, he was working as some type of manager behind the scenes at Bravo, and people around Kandi tried to warn her. Todd had a pattern of aligning with women who improved his circumstances. Not only did he refuse to build his own empire, he grew resentful living in hers. Okay, that was a big one, because if they've been married 11 years, but I think they were together maybe a year or two before that. So there's quite a bit of time they've been together, and for him to not have his own at this point is a little wild. Like something he completely built on his own, it's a little wild. So relationship coach lesson here I want you all to get is discernment matters. A man with ambition but without results becomes dangerous to a successful woman, because proximity to your success becomes the only success he can access. Okay? Never confuse ambition with capacity. I repeat, never confuse ambition with capacity. A high earning woman needs a man with proven output, not just dreams and charisma. All right. A fourth point that I saw in these clips and really wanted to highlight is financial imbalance plus a male ego is going to create chronic tension. So Kandi is a producer. She's a songwriter. She is very, very successful in her trade. Todd wanted the benefits of her success, but not the accountability of matching it. The mismatch in drive, discipline, and achievement created an emotional imbalance, and he compensated with control, criticism, and insecurity. And just to be clear, Todd's behaviors are very default for how a lot of men operate. He's not unique in the way he has moved, the things he has said, the way he has treated Kandi, etc. This is what a lot of men do when they are feeling that their ego is being challenged and they have some type of insecurities, especially around money. So relationship coaching lesson here is, in relationships with unequal output, the higher achieving partner often becomes the emotional, financial, and logistical backbone. This is why when I work with my clients, I really try to implore them, only date men who already carry their own weight. You are not to be a Barb the Builder or a Captain Save 'em for any man. That's not your job. Because when a woman becomes the structure of the relationship, the man often becomes resentful instead of grateful. Men do not appreciate women's help, and that is a big thing that a lot of women are uncomfortable receiving that truth. Do not help a man build. Let a man build on his own, because he won't appreciate it if you help him, and it's probably going to blow up in your face. And then the fifth and final point that I really think is like pertinent or relevant in these clips is the prenup and condo issues reveal he anticipated an exit strategy. Now, my caveat here is I don't think that was wholly wrong, being that they were fully grown when they got together. But the main point is his insistence on keeping a separate condo, his discomfort with the 30-day move-out clause, and the red flags others saw early on all suggest he was always prepared to secure his position financially if things went left. Once again, when you are fully grown, as they were, she was in her late 30s, he was in his 40s, that is not a bad thing per se. But the way Todd went about it seemed very devious rather than we're planning. So, I'm planning for if things should change, if we should decide not to be together. He wasn't thinking, to me, he wasn't coming from it from that point. So the relationship coaching lesson here is a man preparing an exit route is a man who was never anchored in the relationship to begin with, when he is doing it like Todd. Okay. If you're having these open and explicit conversations up front, that's a very different circumstance, and that's a real thing. And you should do that, especially when you're dating and partnering when you're older. So when a partner values what you provide more than who you are, their loyalty is conditional. Women must learn to identify who is committed to them versus who is committed to the lifestyle they offer. And this was once said by somebody who is seen as quite problematic, but he did not lie here. Never give a man a lifestyle. Steve Harvey said this to Keke Palmer way back when before she had her first child by that man that she has a child by. And he was absolutely right. A woman should never give a man a lifestyle. A man can give a woman a lifestyle because men are seen as the providers, the protectors, and leaders. That's okay. But a woman giving a man a lifestyle, it's probably going to end pretty negatively. So let me know your thoughts below about this separation, divorce, and everything that Kandi and Todd are going through. And what are some things that you've identified in the many clips that are now flooding TikTok about his behavior, and how you then would handle yourself if you were in Kandi's situation, or if you met a man who had much less than you, such as Todd has with Kandi. And listen, if nothing else, let this be your reminder that a man with access to you is not the same as a man who can rise to meet you. Some men want a partner, others want a parent, a wallet, or a warm place to hide their insecurities. Your job is to know the difference early and to protect your life accordingly. If this conversation hit home, don't just click away. Come get the support, clarity, and community that keeps you grounded in your standards. Join my coffee exclusive coaching community, where we go deeper on self-worth, boundaries, discernment, and dating as a high-value, high-achieving woman.